Chris Walker. In Outlast, he's a 7-foot-tall, meaty guy who lovingly refers to you as Little Pig, right before yeeting you through a wall. Ironic nickname since he's the one snorting, grunting, and charging around like a warthog with asthma. He's built like a fridge, never skipped a bulk phase, and moves like he just found out you double-parked in his spot. Once, he was a former military cop, but now, he's a professional door remover and part-time philosopher yelling about purging the inhuman, which is funny considering he's the one walking around half-naked covered in blood and wearing someone else's internal organs like they're fashion accessories. Chris doesn't do conversation. He patrols the halls of Mount Massive Asylum and slaps anything with a pulse back into the Stone Age. You hide in a locker? He sniffs you out like a bloodhound who just discovered anxiety. You run? He sprints. You think you're safe behind a locked door? He doesn't knock, he removes the door. There's no talking him down. No clever plan. You hear his heavy footsteps, his wheezing growl, and your survival instinct kicks in just in time to lead you into the worst hiding spot imaginable. Think you can outsmart him? That's cute. You can't. He's faster than you, stronger than you, and the second he locks onto your scent, you're cooked. That furniture you're hiding behind? That's just a minor inconvenience on his way to turning you into a meat slob. Survival chance, 3%. And that's only if you've memorized every vent in the building and accepted that closets are your new home. Teke Teke. She's named after the sound she makes while dragging her torso across the pavement. Teke Teke Teke. Charming, right? She's half a girl, all vengeance, and she's coming for your legs because, well, she doesn't have any. And let's just say, she can't stand seeing other people with theirs. According to the legend, she was a woman who fell onto train tracks and was cut in half. You'd think that would be the end of it. It wasn't. Now she's back, and she's fast. Like, alarmingly fast. Forget zombie shuffles or ghostly drifting. She's elbows down, sprinting, full speed, all upper body. A bit like those zombies from Black Ops 2, but minus the sounds. You don't hear gurgling sounds, you hear teke teke teke, and then you're half the person you used to be. She usually appears late at night. School hallways, empty streets, that one sketchy underpass you pretend isn't haunted. If she corners you, she'll ask a question. If you answer wrong or take too long, she cuts you in half with her rusty scythe. Don't ask why she has a scythe. That part's non-negotiable. And no, running won't save you. Legends say she can easily outpace a sprinting human, and she's always one step ahead, which is extra rude, considering she doesn't even have legs. She doesn't want to talk or be reasoned with. She wants you to match, top half only. Survival chance, 5%. And that's only if you answer perfectly and you've got Olympic-level arm speed. Otherwise, well, break a leg. The Intruder. He looks like someone printed a human face on a sheet of wax paper and stuck it to a coat rack, which honestly might be his least terrifying form, because that's not just a creepy dude in a hoodie. That's an alternate. And not just any alternate. It's the Intruder, aka Stanley, aka the TV man, and known as the I am inside you guy. You've probably seen the meme, but behind that meme is one of the most sadistic and unstoppable entities in the Mandela Catalogue. He doesn't just haunt. He rewrites reality through TVs, radios, mirrors, GPS screens. The government had to outlaw analog tech and mirrors because of him. And if you think that's an overreaction, this thing kidnapped 3,426 children across 4 counties simultaneously. So yeah, parental controls aren't going to cut it. The Intruder's whole method is psychological warfare. He doesn't break in. He broadcasts, distorts PSAs, hijacks TV channels, and whispers to your kids through static. He'll convince you that you're not real, or worse, that you've already been replaced. Victims spiral into metaphysical awareness disorder, which is basically your brain melts and you off yourself. By the time you hear, I am inside your home, it's already too late. He doesn't knock or chase you. He just waits for you to lose grip on reality and then takes what he wants. Survival chance, 0.1%. And that's only if you live tech-free in a cave and have never touched a mirror in your life. Otherwise, you're already on his list. Siren head. Siren head is 40 feet tall, shaped like a starvation victim wrapped in rusted metal. Its head is just 2 sirens, fused to a pole where a neck should be. Yes, they have teeth. No, they're not decorative. The sirens broadcast emergency alerts, static, a song, sometimes even your voice.
My name is Jeff.
It can mimic anything it's ever heard, which makes it good at luring people off hiking trails and into permanent disappearances. Of course, you check out the noise because you like to act like a white person in a horror movie. And now you're gone. It usually stays in rural areas with fewer witnesses and more power lines to hide in. One minute, you're admiring a weirdly tall lamppost. Next minute, that lamppost breaks your skull with a sound wave of a funky song and saves your last words on cassette. You can't outrun it, but maybe you can outdance it, who knows? Sometimes people vanish completely. Sometimes they're found with their faces caved in from the inside. Eardrums, gums, sinuses, all burst like balloons, and no one's ever caught it because you don't see it running around. It can stand still for days, pretending to be part of the landscape, a pole, a tree, a speaker system on the ceiling. Nobody knows what it wants. Some think it's a scout. Others say it's punishment. The only thing anyone agrees on? Everybody is a gangster until the radio tower starts walking. Survival chance? 5%. And that's only if you're mute, earless, and have never heard anything worth remembering. The Demogorgon. The Demogorgon is a predatory creature from the Upside Down, a parallel dimension filled with floating spores, dead things, and terrible lighting. It first appeared in 1983 after a government lab experiment accidentally opened a portal, and like any polite visitor, the Demogorgon immediately started kidnapping locals and dragging them back to its place to die. Physically, it's a 9-foot slab of predator meat that looks like someone skinned a frog. The result is technically humanoid, but only if you count tall meat stick with an aggressive flower for a face as human. It doesn't have eyes or ears or anything else you'd expect on a face, but it's still incredibly good at hunting. It doesn't need eyes. It hunts by smell, sound, and a disturbing sense for blood. It can sense even small amounts across dimensions and will respond by tearing through whatever's between it and the source. Even worse, it's part of the Upside Down's hive mind, meaning if you hurt it, other creatures feel it. Also, it screams, not a roar. A high-pitched, guttural screech that hits you like a sound grenade. If it doesn't burst your eardrums, it'll still ruin your life. Imagine your middle school teacher yelling algebra in your face with a mouthful of warm spit. Now add 200 teeth. Survival chance, 3%. And that's assuming you've got flamethrowers, psychic backup, and a plot armor thicker than Hopper's mustache. Wonder of you or Satoru. Picture this. You walk past a hospital. There's a guy standing there. He looks normal. You blink. Suddenly, your shoelace catches, you trip, land on a nail, and a vending machine falls on your spine. That's Satoru. In JoJo's bizarre adventure, Wonder of You is a stand, a supernatural power, who disguises itself as a man named Satoru Akafu. Wonder of You sounds like a 2000s boy band, but is actually a cosmic hitman, disguised as someone you'd ignore in a hospital hallway. When he's disguised, he looks like a mildly overworked internist. Pale skin, dark eye bags, rough haircut, and a lab coat that probably wasn't assigned, just stolen. Looks harmless, right? Until you realize that trying to follow or confront him triggers something called calamity, which is a fun little mechanic where the universe tries to murder you with bad luck. Now, every object in a 3-block radius is a final destination death trap. Ladder falls on your neck, trip on a sidewalk crack, dislocate both ankles, and summon a swarm of wasps. Forgot to subscribe to my channel? Suddenly the intruder's appearing on your feed. You weren't attacked. You just got unalived by causality itself. Wonder of You doesn't break into your house or stalk you at night. He waits for you to take one step toward figuring out what he is. That's all it takes. You pursue him, you die. Survival chance, 0.5%. And that's only if you never ever thinking about setting a step in his direction. Liquor. I bet the ladies are going crazy over this one, huh? This goofy thing starts off as a regular infected human, then mutates again after eating way too much biomass, and suddenly it's crawling on ceilings with no skin, no eyes, and way too much tongue. Its brain is on the outside. Its claws are the size of machetes. Its tongue? Long, barbed, and capable of French kissing you to dead. These things don't see you. They hear you. So if you breathe, step wrong, or sneeze in the next room, you're basically signing up for a free chiropractic session, with permanent results. Lickers were originally found slithering around Raccoon City after the T-virus outbreak, mostly hanging out in abandoned police stations, burnt-down hotels, and every hallway you stupidly thought was safe. Later models, like the Licker Beta, were mass-produced as actual bioweapons because someone looked at one of these things and thought, yeah, needs more edge. They got bulkier, dumber, and somehow more terrifying. Some were even trained like pets. Big mistake. There's nothing stealthy about a licker once it starts moving. It doesn't stalk, it doesn't wait. It just drops his freaky ass from the ceiling like a skinned spider and starts turning people into leftovers. You can't outrun it. You definitely can't outfight it. You just sit really, really still and pray it doesn't notice your existence. Survival chance, 6%. And that's if you're silent, scentless, and made of air. Beast Titan. If you've ever wondered what it would look like if a gorilla joined Major League Baseball and thought crowd control meant flattening a 5-block radius, here's your answer. The Beast Titan stands at a towering 17 meters, built like a hairy refrigerator with a suspiciously tiny head. It's also rocking just enough fur to look like it's wearing a hairy crop top and capris, but don't let the goofy fashion fool you. This isn't your average oversized ape. It's one of the 9 titans, meaning it's got power, pedigree, and a mean throwing arm. Under Zeke Yeager, this titan turns siege warfare into a one-man sport. Walls? Flattened? Soldiers? Pulped? Entire fleets? Gone. Courtesy of Zeke lobbing boulders like it's dodgeball, but with catastrophic property damage. And it gets pettier. He once sniped a moving horse mid-air. He's dropped titans from planes. He even used his own comrades' limbs as projectiles. And yes, it talks. Calm, polite, with just enough smugness to make you feel 2 inches tall right before it erases your squad with one casual throw. While other titans scream and flail, this one's practically giving a lecture mid-massacre. There's nothing quite like hearing fascinating right before a van-sized rock turns your commander into paste. And for those thinking, I'd just dodge. Okay, you versus a 60-foot monkey who throws with sniper precision? Text me from the afterlife and let me know how that worked out. Survival chance, 2%. Unless you were a dodgeball champ in middle school and never stopped training for that oddly specific scenario. All right, folks, that concludes the list. Drop your survival plan in the comments. I'll wait. Just make sure you like the video first. It's the only thing keeping me from turning into a monster.